What's up, people? It's time. It's time. It's time. What you've been waiting on all week. We get to hear some crazy stories from somebody, even worse than the ones that we've been hearing from the new series. I'm glad I had that idea because it definitely has been eye opening. I'm talking about the series that we're doing right now where I'm interviewing real women about their relationships with narcissists. If you want to tell your story, there's be information in the show description down below about how to do that, and you can sign up. I'll be doing the interviews through the month of May, and then I'm gonna stop. So anybody who has a story that wants to share, you got to get in there, get in while you can fit in, because after that, you know me, I'm gonna move on to something else. But that's what's going on right now on the Debsterism channel, and everybody seems to be really enjoying it, learning a lot, and so I'm glad to bring that to you. Ah, everybody doing okay? Staying inside with this coronavirus nonsense. I tell you, they just enacted a rule now. I don't know if they're doing it nationwide, probably. And the health department here in Alameda County has declared that starting tomorrow, anytime you're out in public spaces or any place where there's going to be a crowd of people like grocery stores, pharmacies, buses, whatever, that you have to wear a face covering. And I'm like, wow, 2 or 3 months later, huh? That's kind of interesting, but whatever, you know. So the people who are starting these little face mask business, they just making all kinds of money. So if you can sew and you got some creative talent and you know how to do it, I would suggest that you jump in on that, especially if your stuff is gonna be, cute. Because a lot of the stuff you can tell the people barely they took a sewing class probably in like seventh grade and they haven't sewn nothing since. I was looking at that stuff. It's like, ooh, girlfriend, your seams is crooked and you got extra trims threads here. This don't look right. So I'm not ordering those. I don't want to be walking around looking, raggedier than I do. Oh, yeah, the same rule here. Yeah, you have to wear the mask. You know the problem I'm having? I have claustrophobia, and putting those masks on is sending me to orbit because I feel like I can't breathe, and it's like getting this panicky feeling. It is not working. So I have about 20 of these things here. I put them around my neck like like a scarf or whatever, like a fake turtleneck, and then I pull it up here. I look like I'm about to go rob a bank or something. But you know what? I don't even care because it's thin enough that I can, breathe through it. And they're like, well, it has to be this many layers and it can't be stretchable to, this and that. I'm like, you know what? Either I'm gonna die from a panic attack, I'm gonna die from getting COVID. I'm just gonna die, period. So I mean, what? What you want from me? I don't want to be one of the people having a panic attack in the middle of the street. And then the next thing you know, I'll be up on World Star. Everybody be laughing at me. Ah, look at her running around screaming like an idiot. No, I don't want that to be me. So I have to figure out, some kind of way to walk the middle ground where I look like I have on a face covering. And it may not be the best face covering, but it's going to keep me from acting a fool and collapsing into a puddle in the middle of the street. Yeah, I'm telling you, me and that I got that claustrophobia thing. I can't do. That's why I don't even go to crowds. I don't go to big concerts and stuff. I will only go to Yoshi's. If it ain't a Yoshi's, I don't go. That's about as big a crowd as I can handle. Yeah, it's extremely uncomfortable. Honey, these things are the bomb. They are the bombzilla. So this works for me. That's what I've been doing. And I just, pull it up and it goes here and it's stretchy and it's not like it's the cutest thing in the world, but I don't really care. Yeah, the fear mongering is just ridiculous. It's just insane. Well, the thing about it is I didn't start wearing the mask till yesterday. I've been shopping and doing everything I wanted to do without a mask for the last couple of months. But now, they want to like talk shit to you and not let you in stores and stuff if you don't have one. I tried to go to the store last week and they made me pay $1 for one of them little paper masks. I was all kinds of put out. But when she saw how much groceries I bought, she didn't charge me for it. But they wouldn't even let you in unless you had on gloves and a mask. I'm like, dang. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's going on. And so now we're going to talk about some other problems that are affecting people in their relationships. I can't stay inside, though. I can't do that. You really want to see me flip out and lose my mind. Mm-mm. That really will be a bad scene. Okay, let's get started with our column, What the Fuck Tuesday, for April 21st. We have a grand total of, today we have, hold on, I'm flipping. Oh, God, 25 questions again. Oh, I almost died last week. Last week, that was a 2-hour show. It takes me 2 hours to do 25 questions unless they're short. Let's hope these are shorter than last week. All right, female, 26 to 29 out of Houston. Hi, Deb. I'm not wondering if men and women can be friends because I think that they can. But I started dating somebody 2 months ago, and he's been consistent and respectful. And we've even worked out quarantine so we can see each other. We are exclusive. Both are lucky to work from home, and we have our groceries and wine delivered and literally only go to UPS for mail for the last month. Anyway, all has been fine until it suddenly hit me this past week that as we've gotten to know each other, he talks about a woman he works with a lot, and she put a lot in caps. When it first occurred from very early in meeting him, I literally thought nothing of it. He has only described her as a coworker. She wrote it in a totally different department, but they have to be on conference calls together and not as a friend. But this past week, he texted me to say, "Oh, Mary called and she's having a rough week. I'll have to fill you in later." We talk on the phone every evening before bed. I thought it was a little odd him sharing he wanted to tell me about this, but he also shared about another coworker who was going through breast cancer. So I figured he's just sharing his day. Huh. He ended up telling me on the phone that night that Mary had called him and said she was getting a bad review from another guy in the company and she was upset and how he was encouraging her to come and work in his department. Something about the convo didn't sit well with me, but I let it go. Then again last night, 2 days later, he talks about how Mary had called. Oh yeah, Mary about to get on my nerves. Mary had called him, was looking at her resume, and they were going to figure out together what she needed to brush up on to possibly interview for his department. I'm just starting to get annoyed with the realization that this guy I'm getting to know is talking about someone else so frequently. I don't care if he helps her with her career or talks to her, but the fact that he has mentioned her multiple times per week since I've been getting to know him feels dot 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 not okay with me. My question is, do I say anything to him at all or just watch and see what else he does with what else happens with this? I obviously know I can be with whoever I want. I'm still learning about him and I'm still in the gathering information about his character phase. I don't want advice saying men and women can be friends. I know that. What should I say to him now or in the future? That would be helpful. Okay, I'm going to say this because I can see you don't really want the hardcore Deb, so I'm going to give you the watered down Deb. Okay. I have said on this channel at least 550 million times. If you got a man who's always talking about some other woman, that's the woman he's thinking about. Because, see, we thoughts don't just materialize on our lips. We have to think them first, and then they come out. Now, you're in a quandary here. This is a very interesting situation because, A, you've only been with the dude 2 months. So it's not like you like a real solid couple. You say you're exclusive, but how can you be exclusive with somebody in only 2 months? You barely know dude's middle name yet. So that seems a bit premature to me. Like trying to create a commitment when you don't really know what you're committing to. To me, that kind of conversation shouldn't happen until 3 or 4 months down the line. And while you're getting to know him, you should be also dating other people so that you wouldn't be having all this drama with him and this other woman. Okay, but see, you didn't do that, and so you messed up. Okay, so now let's move on to what's going on. What you should do, and he's trying to get Mary all up in his apartment now, so they are going to be working together. He's going to see Mary every day. He's going to be all up on the bed. They could be going to lunch because your dude is interested in Mary. Now, that doesn't mean that Mary's interested in him back. Let me throw that in there. Because a lot of times dudes are interested in us, and right, ladies, we don't see them like that. There's no interest. There may be the kind of thing also where Mary doesn't want to mess around with somebody at her job because Mary's having enough drama at her job, which is why Mary has to transfer departments already. So, let's not put too much blame on Mary as far as this goes. But what we do know is that your guy's interest in Mary is more than just as a coworker. Because otherwise he'd be talking about the dudes too and his boss and everybody. He'd be talking about all of them equally. But no, no, no. He talks about Mary. So that means to me that Mary's on his mind. So what I would do if I were you, because you need to feel good about whatever decision you make. Me, I would just dump him. I would be like, Psh, you want to be with Mary, get out of here. I'm not trying to be, competing with no broad on your job. But I know some of you just, you need what they call closure. You need to know that you're making the right decision. You need to tie up all the loose ends. You want to deal with your feelings. You want to have all the answers. So what you do is you sit down with Home Skillet and you say, over the last few months since we've been getting to know each other, I've noticed that you bring up this married person very, very frequently. And I'm telling you, as another woman, that bothers me. Why is the guy that I'm dating and trying to get to know and sleeping with, whatever y'all is doing, why is he always talking to me about some other broad? And you want to use the term like, some kind of B word. Let me put it that way. You want to use some kind of B word, broad, the one that rhymes with itch, something along those lines. But it should start with the letter B. And you want to make an impression upon him that you are not fond of this conversation. And you want to ask him, well, say, so, what is it that you are thinking about? And why do you keep talking to me about some other woman? Why would you think that that would be interesting conversation for me? And just see what he says. Because in one hand, it is good that he feels open enough to talk to you about this kind of stuff. Because a lot of times, we shut dudes down too early. We do want to know what's on their mind. We do. And there's ways to do that. Even if he did have feelings for Mary, to transfer those feelings to you. But you would have to be interested enough in him and have enough time invested to be able to pull that off. And I don't think you had a skill set. But so we just going to roll with this. So you tell him that, and then you wait for his answer, and then depending upon what he says, because he might be like, oh my God, I didn't realize, this and that and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean anything, blah, blah, blah. That might be what he says, but just watch him. If you decide to stay with him, watch him and see what he says, how he does. And if he keeps on being around this Mary, or if he suddenly stops talking to you about her at all, then he's hiding something. But altogether, for you, I feel like you need to have answers and you want, to know and all this old stuff here. And so you the one that's going to want to have a conversation. Deb wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, you talk too much about some other broad. I'm out, deuces, because you're supposed to be talking about me. I don't feel like hearing that. And see, to me, that would be it. 2 months and then I'm done. But everybody's not me. So I'm trying to give you the other approach, the softer, gentler approach for people who need closure. Okay, because that's not me. I don't need nothing from some chump ass man except for him to get out of my face as quickly and expeditiously as possible. So let's move on to question number 2. Male 21 to 26 out of how do you say that? Taos, New Mexico. Yesterday, after I got back from work, my girlfriend welcomed me in a rather harsh way, considering we've been together for 6 months. She said she had gone through my laptop and was asking why I have so many texts from some woman about needing me to come over to help her. I'm a pharmacist, so I sometimes help the older folks, especially nowadays. I started calmly explaining who she was and that I was just helping her get her medicine during this time because she can't get out and she's in the high risk category. She then said it was a blatant lie and slapped me across the face. Oh, no. She then tried to slap me again, so I grabbed her hand before she could slap me, and she said, this is domestic abuse. Okay, before I even read any more further, get rid of this broad because she's stupid. She's going to have your ass in jail. I mean, get rid of her today. Don't do today, now, right after you hear this answer. She has never acted like this, so I'm thinking about kicking her out regardless of the virus. What should I do? Exactly that. Tell her she got to get out. Because once she starts putting her hands on you and talking about this is domestic, she's trying to set you up. See, she hit it on you. She wanted you to hit her back so she could have a charge against you because she mad thinking that you messing with some other woman. So, dude, I don't care how much you like this girl. It's only been 6 months. Get rid of her. She's a nightmare walking. Who does stuff like that? The chick is sick and twisted. Okay, she's just trying to set you up. And don't be stupid because you know you got a license and stuff. You start getting the domestic violence charges and arrest records and stuff like that. It's going to reflect very badly on your state pharmacist license. Okay, you have your whole career. You spent years and years of school to become a pharmacist. Do not let that woman destroy your life. Get rid of her immediately. Go home, tell her to pack her stuff and get the fuck out. Go take it to, you go to your mama's house, you go to a hotel. I don't care. You could go to the parking with a tent. I don't care where you go, but you're not going to be up in my house. Not hitting on me, you not. Get out. And don't you dare go back with her. I don't care how many times you block her. Don't you let her call you. I'm telling you, dude, she's going to destroy you. You let her. She's already showed you what kind of person she is. She's kept it under wraps for 6 months. But who goes and tries to fire on somebody about some text? And everybody in the world knows the high risk categories. All she had to do is say, "Oh, well, I would like to talk to her," if she was so doubtful. Well, can I talk, introduce myself to her? Let's do a video chat. How about I go with you? Let's bring her some food too. I mean, y'all don't have no like wilds. You just act like little wild animals. You don't even think about, okay, how can I get the information that I need in a way that's not going to destroy my relationship until it needs to be destroyed? She's an old woman. She can't get out. Can you cook? Why didn't you offer when you cook? And let's bring her some salad and some spaghetti and stuff. And when you bring her medicine, so she can have some food too, just in case she doesn't have any. Or call her and see if she needs something. We could pick it up at the grocery store on our way over there. Use your brain, lady. That's how you do stuff. Then your dude is looking at you like, yeah, she cool. She's trying to help me, satisfy me, do my thing with my customers, and it helps his reputation at his job to go over and above when he gets his reviews and raises and stuff. You guys will look like a team. The reviews will come back from the patient of how nice the young pharmacist was with his girlfriend, and they came back. You don't know how to play no kind of games at all. You don't know how to do nothing. You just want to hit people like a fucking toddler. Oh my God. I mean, this was an easy one. This was an easy one. So I don't know what she's trying to do, but you better get rid of her and get you a girlfriend with some sense. Somebody with, as much to lose as you, like a doctor, a nurse, a psychologist, somebody with a license so they won't be acting stupid because they don't want to lose theirs either. Question number 3, female, 26 to 29, Sydney, Australia. I am a female, 27 years old. I moved to a completely different state for work a little over a year ago. While at work, I met a guy who's 25. We work in completely different departments, but met through mutual friends at work. I would say over the past 5 or 6 months, we have built a pretty great friendship, even though I feel like I've known him for so much longer. We have so much in common that is generally uncommon amongst most people, if that makes sense. You 27, you don't know nothing about most people yet. Okay? You still have milk breath. Most people. Okay, let me move on. Because of that, I feel a really deep connection to him that I haven't felt before with anyone. We talk every day, but I'm wanting to go more in depth in our conversations and try to take this relationship to the next level. He is very, very shy, she put in caps, and I am used to men being a more straightforward / making the first move. I'm also pretty shy, and the fear of rejection cripples me. What should my next move be? Shy guys, do they have any advice for me too? I'm like, we don't really have too many guys here. Well, some. They might see the video after and have a comment. But I'm going to say this. Oh, yeah, I do. That Szechuan dude, he comes here on the channel a lot. You know what shyness is? Shyness is people who don't have no testosterone. They don't have no testicles. They don't have no juice. So then they claim that they are shy when in actuality they are terrified of their own shadow. They weak and they ain't about nothing. That's a shy man. Okay, because that's an oxymoron. You can't be a man and go roll through the world acting shy at the same time. Those two things don't work. You ain't gonna never be nothing. You ain't gonna never get nothing. You ain't gonna never do nothing. Crying about I'm shy and trying to hide behind that. So you got a guy who you say is shy. Leave him alone. Plus, you work together anyway. You can't meet no other dudes. Sometimes you guys you think that these men are quote shy, but really is they're not interested in you. Not like that. And you work with the dude. It could be that he don't want to mess with nobody at his job, so he's keeping everything real cool between the two of you. Did you ever think of that? Instead, you just gonna ignore all of that and just bulldoze the dude. You don't. That's not how you handle your situations with men. I know a lot of women are like, oh, you know, um, I'm a woman of the whatever. They used to say women of the 90s, but I don't know what they say now. I'm a woman, I'd like to take charge. I just like to go for mine. I just do this and that, this and that. And I'd be like, uh-huh, and how's that working out for you? Where's all them men that you was going for yours with now? Where are they now? They dipped in and they got a little taste and they were flattered, of course. They enjoyed the companionship and the distraction. But as soon as something came along that they really was interested in, they was like, deuces. Because they wasn't feeling you in the first place. Otherwise, they would have been pursuing you. And I don't mean narc pursuit. I mean a serious pursuit, you know. So you young ladies who have this thing where you just want to be trying to press dudes into showing interest in you and using the excuse that they're shy, you need to understand there's no such thing as a shy man. If he's shy, he's a boy. And if he's a man, he's going to find his nuts and he's going to step up and do what he has to do. Okay? And he ain't doing it, then that means he's either A, not interested, or he's just a little bitch ass. And either one is not attractive. Question number 4, female 26 to 29 out of Florida. My husband is 32 and I'm 29. He's always loved California and has dreamed of going back after his last job had him travel there once every few months. He used to live there when he was a teenager and went to school and absolutely loves the weather. He never discussed this with me before marriage or when we were dating that he planned to move back to California. We've been married for almost 4 years now. He claims this has always been his plan. I, on the other hand, I'm a Floridian and have family in Florida. I love the Florida weather and the tropics. Nah, I see them snakes and crocodiles and alligators and all that stuff y'all got down there. Nah. Tornadoes and whatnot, hurricanes and all that. Nah, 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 nah. Put your butt on a plane and come to Cali. The first time we moved for his job, it was nearly 2 hours away. The apartment got shot up and we had to move to another apartment. Then he lost his job. We only had one car and I was having difficulties finding a stable job. The apartment started leaking and we had to move back to my hometown in Florida. I found a part-time job and he has been working at a new job down here that is more reasonable. We have been in the process of deciding between a house or an apartment. The plan was to build a life in Florida and maybe consider living in another state like Texas or near his mother in Minnesota, where he could establish another job prior. But out of nowhere, he brought up that he's been talking to a friend about starting a business. The friend lives in California and claims he is incredibly intelligent. He wants to move to California to search for more career opportunities, but there are several issues. One, I never wanted to leave Florida or live in California. I traveled to Cali once for a wedding and I thought it was pretty, but I didn't want to stay there. I felt claustrophobic and homesick. Or number 2, he wants to move to California without a job, or as he told me, take the risk. I asked if he could find a similar job that would allow him to travel to California once in a few months, like for business kind of job, but he presses how he wishes to live there permanently. What is the best way to solve this situation? Get a divorce. What do you want from me? It's like, see, this is where it becomes interesting because you already know the answer to this question. I could tell by the way you wrote your letter. You already know what you have to do. You just don't want to do it. You need me, I guess, to tell you that that's what you need to do. So I'm about to do that. Number 1, you don't get married to nobody to give up your dreams. You don't do that. Every time a woman does that mess, it ends up very badly for her. Okay, she gives up her dream of doing whatever to put the man through school. He gets in school. As soon as he gets his fancy job and his title and his license and whatever, what does he do? File for divorce. And there she is, looking stupid, having worked all them years, worked 2 jobs and stuff to put him through school. And, and then look, what she get out of it? Nothing. So that's not what you do. That's not what you do. And these are things that they call, he didn't do full disclosure. When you have a plan for your life that involves moving across the other side of the country, that is something that you should discuss with your mate prior to marriage. Okay, because that's a big step to move you all the way away from everybody that you know over to the other side of the coast where you don't know anybody. You don't do that. That's not how you do. So what you should do is, and then plus it's like, what he trying to move out here to start a business right now, he's an idiot. Businesses folding like left and right, you know. Small businesses going out of business like everywhere. And even the big businesses are impacted, you know. This is not the time to be even thinking about anything like that. Maybe next year. Yeah, because it's going to take the country months and months to restabilize, even after all of this is over. So next year, maybe, or even a year after that, possibly. But if he's talking about, it sounds like he wants to do it right now, that's going to be a foolish thing to do. And he'll come back to Florida with his tail tucked between his legs, broken, looking stupid. So you let him do that by himself. So you tell him, well, you can go on over there if you want to, and let's file for divorce when you go, because any debt that you incur when you go over there in business and have to go bankrupt, I don't want it to mess up my credit or my future. So we're going to get a divorce, and then, check me out when you get back, because you will be back. Because they can't, everybody is not cut out to be in California. People like what it looks like, and they like the weather, and they imagine they're going to be climbing and hiking in the hills and surfing and all this stuff. Right? I mean, it looks nice. But the reality is living out here is hard and it's very expensive. Okay, it's extremely expensive. And so for somebody who's coming from, some other state where they don't, they can still buy a house for $200,000, well, this is going to be a serious reality check when you find that you get like a cardboard box for $1.2 million. And people be like, what? What you talking about, Willis? Or you get like a studio apartment for $1,700, $1,800 a month in the hood. Okay, let's not talk about what you gonna have to go to San Francisco or some really nice thing, 4 or 5 grand a month. So he's in for a real big shock. So that's what I would suggest to you. You got to save yourself right here, because he's going to take you down a path of death and destruction with this business thing, and you will be bankrupt and having all kinds of financial problems for 20 years after if you go for this nonsense. Question number 5, male, 21 to 26, out of Tempe, Arizona. I met this girl online about 2 months ago. Before COVID-19 spiraled out of control, we were able to hang out twice. The first date was not the best and left me feeling unsure, but she texted me afterwards that night and was very communicative and was very proactive in scheduling the second date. The second date went much better, but I was still a little awkward, which I'm just assuming was nerves. But still, I enjoyed myself, and she texted afterwards that night as well. She originally was going to visit her family over the weekend after the date, but while she was gone, COVID-19 ramped up, so she had to stay down where she's from. Since then, we've been texting quite a bit, and I've really enjoyed it. We have long conversations all day, all night. We really vibe with each other, and it's just great. It just sucks that we're both stuck at our respective family homes until this whole thing is over. I also really want to video chat with her, but asking her to do that makes me nervous for some reason. I do think it would be beneficial, especially since we haven't interacted with each other face to face in over a month. I'm really starting to develop feelings for her. Should I tell her, or should I wait? No, you should not tell her you're developing feelings for her over somebody that you said went on 2 dates with. What's wrong with you? All this talking and stuff is cute. That's great. That's wonderful. But that's not really a way that you really could get to know somebody. You got to see people face to face, interact with them, feel their vibes, their energy, their essence, all that, their facial expressions. There's a lot that goes on in communication besides what you can deal with over the phone. So I think the video chat is an excellent idea. Look at all these different mediums we have to do that now. People kind of just dogging out my Zoom, but there's Skype, and there's iPhone thing, what they call it, FaceTime or whatnot. And they got all these different apps, WhatsApps and all these other things that people use to do that. So just tell them, I really want to see you. Let's set up a blah, blah, blah chat. And, one day this week, and, let's have a face to face. I mean, how hard is that? Why are you putting all this on it? Like you got to confess your soul in order to get her to to do a video chat with you. Oh my God, you dude, you doing the most. Just do that and then just take your time until you get around her again because you know you done built this all up in your mind. Y'all might get together after all this and decide you don't even like her anyway. Be like me, I have a short attention span. Question number 6, female, 26 to 29, Santa Rosa, California. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 4 years. Dang, how do people do that? We have been living together for the last 2. Ever since the beginning of our relationship, he never was big on showing a ton of affection. It bothered me at first, but I just adapted to it. We would fight over it quite frequently. Okay, but so you would fight over it, but you feel like you adapted to it? That means you just gave up. That's what that means. As of late, though, I really started to notice that we were starting to act more like best friends than lovers. We never argue. We get along perfectly as roommates, but that's all I have a feeling like we are, roommates slash buddies. I confronted him on the issue, asking if he could show me more love, more affection, kissing, hugging, holding hands, etc. He said this is the way he is and that he is not changing. I broke up with him and moved out. Good job. Deb, I gave him plenty of chances to talk about how I was feeling and fix things. He refused and pretty much shut down completely. He now wants me back saying that he could be the way I need him to be. He says he wishes what happened never happened and that he loves me, everything about me. He wants to be with me forever and can imagine being with anyone else. He wants to marry me. But I already moved out. I'm upset that he waited till I moved out to come to his senses and want to work on things. Like I said, this has been the ongoing battle in our relationship. I'm concerned that he is saying that he can be the way I need him to be, but once I move back in, he returned to his old tendencies. You're right. That's exactly what's going to happen. I hate to change anyone, but this is what I need, more affection on a consistent basis. He says he never viewed me as anything less than lovers, and he was very happy. How do I know if he will really change his ways with being more affectionate? Do I move back in? I do not know what to do. How long do I wait to move back in if he's showing me lots of affection? I want him to know I'm dead serious. I'm sticking to what I say because I am serious. I need more love and affection. I love him to death, but I need someone to give me some honest advice. Well, you've come to the right place, my dear. Okay, you say that you've been dating 4 years and you're in the 26 to 29 age group. You neglected to tell me what age group he's in. But even then, it says, let's just say he's in the same age group as you. Let's just say you guys are 28. Don't you think that if he was going to be an affectionate person, that he would have shown that at some point in 28 years? This is who he is. Okay, he's been like this, as you said in this letter, since the beginning of your relationship. Okay, the one who decided to put up with the nonsense and just to have a boyfriend anyway was you. He has never changed. He's been consistently the way that he is. The one who finally got fed up with not with having sacrificed her needs was you. So what do? Do you go back to this? No, you do not. Because, just his words saying, well, I can be what you want. How you going to be what I want? How you going to prove to me that you're going to be what I need? What have you done? Did you go to any therapy? Did you read a book? Did you go to a counselor? Did you go to group? What did you do that makes you feel that you can now change the person that you've been for 28, 29 years and be what I need you to be? Tell me. When you start asking hard questions like that, that's when they start stuttering, stammering, and saying, well, never mind then, because they on some BS. And, you don't have to cuss at them and yell or anything. You just ask them hard questions. And they never have an answer because they don't do nothing. They just talking smack because they want you back because they miss their convenience of you being there, meeting their needs. Talking about he was happy. Well, that's when you were supposed to say, but I wasn't. That's the part you don't get. The relationship was happy for you because you were getting your needs met. I was fucking miserable. And I don't want to go back to that. So you just keep it moving. You find a woman who's happy with you just looking at her, and I wish y'all, live happily ever after. See, so he's a knucklehead. And you stupid. If you go back to that, you're dumb. And now you don't move back in. What would you move back in for? Stay where you are. Find you somebody else. How can you love somebody who's not even giving you what you need emotionally? How does that even work? Is it me? I'm the only one. I don't understand. I'm not getting hugged up, loved up, patted on, gooey gooey that and all this old stuff. And that's, part of what makes it sound good and feel good. And you claim that you love him to death, but what are you loving when he's a roommate? Okay, whatever. Let's move on to question number 7. This is a young woman in the 26 to 29 age group out of Denver. As I get older, when I find someone is in a relationship, when I find someone is a relationship jumper, meaning they jump into one right after another, I avoid them like the plague. I haven't dated many guys like this, but I have seen some girlfriends of mine and some guy friends like this as well. And all those friends seem to be very needy and can't be happy on their own. That's right. For example, a good guy friend of mine was in a relationship for 4 years. His girlfriend cheated on him and they broke up last summer. I told him maybe he should take some time for himself and figure things out before jumping into dating again. But he was devastated. A month and a half later, he was dating someone new and totally in love with her. Unlike with the previous girlfriend, these two were all over each other. It was really annoying as they were constantly touching and being all cuddly while at dinner and other outings in public. It was overkill, like teenagers. These people are in their 40s. What? Me and my other friends found it so weird. Lo and behold, in February, my friend found out this girlfriend was cheating on him and she completely ghosted him. He was gutted and so depressed that he went on antidepressants. He couldn't get out of bed for days. I was a little surprised it was such a heavy toll on him, seeing as it only dated for about 6 months. That was close to 2 months ago. Again, I told him not to jump into anything and take some time. He agreed and said he was not going to try to date for 6 months because he was over dating. Lo and behold, 2 weeks ago, he started dating yet another woman. And they're spending every day together in quarantine. And now he's all lovey dovey with her. It made me realize how he is someone that cannot be single or alone. It also made me realize that to him, it's more about just having someone, anyone, rather than wanting to be with that specific person. Perhaps his girlfriend of 4 years was something more real, but these last two just seem like band aids. The problem is when this fizzles out quickly, you just bring in more pain. What gives? Why do people do this? When I meet a guy like this, I avoid him because to me it sends a message that what they want more is just a partner to fulfill their loneliness. It's not so much about being with you, which is a recipe for disaster and real unhappiness down the road. Why do that to yourself over and over? I don't know. You asking me to see into the minds of crazy people? I can't do that. I'm like, my crazy mind reader is broken. So I don't know. I don't know why they do that. Because, just like he got into the bed because he never grieved over the first relationship. That's why when the second one broke up, dude was in the bed with the covers pulled over his head on medication and stuff, taking Prozac and whatnot. Because he had it all, it was delayed, but it still hit him that he had to deal with it. A 4-year relationship, you have to grieve over that. Okay, that's a long time to have someone in your life and for them suddenly just to not be there. So, that's that takes time and he didn't give himself that time. So the other woman, this him being all over the women and all stuff like that, that's his own projected neediness. And you're right, it doesn't mean anything about the women. That's just him looking for some kind of affection and companionship and fulfilling his needs for physical intimacy. And the women wised up to it and they realized that they were just, a placebo and they moved on. They did it in kind of a rough and rugged way, but that was essentially what was going to happen. It was bound to happen. You can't treat people like that. Just use them to help you. Girl, I'm telling you, I'm just, oof. But, but anyway, to sum all it up, you're 100% correct. That is exactly what it is. And I've also felt like that's the situation with the dudes that they call players. How they just go from woman to woman, woman to woman. They can't stand to be by themselves. Not for 10 minutes. They can't stand their own company. Even if they're physically by themselves, they're on the phone with some woman. They're texting some woman. They're getting ready to go see some woman. They just came back from seeing some woman. There's always a woman in those kind of guys' lives because they're empty inside, and most of them are narcissists. So they don't know how to fill themselves up. They look for other people to do it for them. And it's a very challenging thing for women to understand that. They think that they're just Um, I don't know. You don't really understand what's going on with these guys. They're just happy to be good to be, attractive so that they can do this with women, whereas other guys just sit at home and become incels and join MGTOW and stuff. But they have the same needs. They just don't have the options that the good-looking dude does. So he can go and have all them different women to keep him company and be his band-aid, where these other guys just, they're each other's band-aids and each other's company. You understand what I'm saying? But men are just needy as hell. They're just needy people. And women, I think, are much stronger emotionally than men are. Although some of y'all, y'all just as bad. But in general, men hide their neediness behind a lot of, bravado, and it, they need us more than we need them. Trust me. Question number 8. This is a male, 30 to 36, out of Chicago. We are all in our 30s, and I've been with my girlfriend for 4 years. Me and my girlfriend were in the bedroom. Uh-oh. This friend and my brothers were out in the living room. When me and my girlfriend were leaving out, I noticed that my friend was staring at my girlfriend's face the whole time when we walked past. I was not past, PASS. I was upset about it, but I didn't mention it to him. We had a similar situation last year when me and my girlfriend were walking past, PASSED, and he was staring in her face. After I took her home that day, I came back home and I asked him why he was staring in my girlfriend's face. He got mad and said he wasn't staring at her. He claimed that he thought she was crying because her face was oily. We had a small argument about it, and that was it. Didn't have no more issues with it till today. A part of me wants to say something because I feel disrespected that my friend was staring my girlfriend's face. Another part of me doesn't want to say nothing because the argument about it will probably be bigger this time. I've known this friend for 15 years. Do you think I should approach him about it or just leave it alone? I think you're being ridiculous and insecure. Okay, okay? This is a woman, y'all in the same house. Um, when you talk to somebody, this might be a news flash for you, but you're supposed to look at their face. Did you know that? But you want him looking at her boobs, her toes, her earrings? What? 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 What do you want? You're supposed to look at people in their face if you're talking to them. That's what normal people do. You know? That's what you do. Stop. Will you stop with this? You guys always coming up with that something about somebody cheating or screwing. Your minds is in the gutter and you don't think straight. Elevate your thinking processes. Not everybody's screwing. Now that's not to say he might not want to do it with her, but that don't mean that they did. Stop it. I hate that. It's like this default way of thinking, and it's just so There's a million other reasons why this man could be looking. I mean, the girl might be extraordinarily beautiful. He don't say nothing about what she looks like. Maybe he wish he had a girlfriend that looked like her. I don't know. Maybe she had bags under her eyes or her makeup was all fucked up. We don't know what was going on with girlfriend's face. But he gonna worry about her looking at her face last year, and then once this year, and he's writing a letter about it. And you want to say they smashed because the man looked at the girl's face 2 times in a year. They're always real, Ken's MB. I don't know why y'all ask me that. That gets on my nerves too. They're real letters. We've heard the situations that people from the videos have talked about. Don't question what people write, okay? Because somebody somewhere is living a life that just because you don't understand it and it's not the choices that you would make, that doesn't mean that somebody somewhere is not making them. That's why they write advice columnists. Because they're kind of goofy sometimes. You know what I mean? They make goofy decisions and they think strangely and they arrive at really odd conclusions about stuff. Whereas, when you have more life experience, you be like, no, that's not how you should have done that. But they're not there. And if this young guy, we don't know anything about his history. We don't know how he grew up. We don't know if he had a solid man in his life. We don't know what his self-esteem is like. We don't know anything about him. All we know is how he is reacting to a man looking in his girlfriend's face 2 times in a year and something. 2 times in over a year. Okay, just stay focused on that. And he want to, have an argument about it and stuff. This dude is grossly insecure. I mean, so his self-esteem is in the toilet. This is not anything that anybody should even think about, let alone want to approach somebody about and get to an argument over. Very childish and very insecure. So my answer to you, sir, you heard all that extraneous conversation. Grow up. And if you don't want nobody looking at your woman's face, then go to Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan or somewhere and get you one of them burqa wearing chicks and call it a day. Okay, or get you somebody, no, because even if you get an ugly woman, they're going to still be looking at her face. They'll be like, God damn, she toe up. So they still be looking at her face. Whether she look good or whether she's ugly, people are going to look at her face. And normal people look at people's faces when they talk to them. So I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Question number 9, female, 26 to 29, out of London. I have a friend who I've been very close to for 8 years. 4 years ago, she and her husband became friends with a man that they met through work. This guy came to do a graduate degree in London, and they offered to rent him a room. I ended up dating him for a brief time and getting hurt by his erratic behavior. Our mutual friend was his landlady, and she told me that he has a track record of being unreliable and flaky. Wait, I lost my place. Oh, flaky with his girlfriends, and that if I'd asked her advice, she would have warned me about this. She told me that he dated another friend of hers and handled their breakup so poorly that now this woman is uncomfortable visiting their house. My friend warned him that he mustn't treat me the same way and that she'd be angry if I ever felt like I couldn't visit. Well, he behaved in a very similar way anyway. Luckily for me, he moved away right afterwards, so I still felt okay visiting. Now that the pandemic has hit, I obviously can't see her, and this is where things get hurtful. She messaged suggesting that we eat virtual lunch together. She then forgot about it. She sent an apology and asked to reschedule. I agreed, but she never got back to me. However, and this is what stings, she has been socializing with my ex online. I saw photos of their Zoom dinner on her Facebook page, plus lots of back and forth comments between them on her wall, which made it plain they're in daily contact. I feel as if she's chosen him over me. Oh my God, the immaturity. I never expected or wanted her to stop being friends with him as they are close and he's friends with her husband and lots of their circle as well. I just never expected to be discarded myself. She's known me for much longer than she's known him, and we are, question mark, close to. More than that, I gave her a lot of support when she was in a hospital for major surgery. While this guy upset her by not replying to anything she wrote to him at that time for over 4 months. She told me how hurt she was by that. It seems to me that he constantly flakes out on people and they just keep giving him a pass. It's unpleasant to feel forgotten by her in the middle of this lockdown. I don't want to keep reaching out in case I just feel like some obligation to her now. Oh my God! How old are you? 26 to 29, and you acting like this? Grow up. You want to have virtual lunch with the woman, say, girl, what happened? You just stood me up. What kind of shit is that? And she would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he's like, okay, well, we're going to do this again at some point. But, when your calendar's actually free, just reach out. We're not going to make an appointment, but I eat lunch every day at the house at blank time. So you want to join me, ring me up. You do it like that, okay? So you don't put her under no schedule because you don't know what's going on with her and her husband. And it's like that was her husband's friend before it was hers. So, maybe the lunches, she's just with her husband, right? Because they at home in lockdown. And so the husband is the one reaching out because it's his friend. And they want to have lunch, so she's eating lunch with her husband, so she's there too. You see what I mean? Did you ever think of any of that? What, you want her to take her plate and go in another room and eat by herself? Is that what you're saying? So you feel better? Girl, the relationship, brief little fling that you had with this dude has been over. Been over. Grow up. Nobody owes you anything about some dude that ghosted you that she don't have no control over. And she would have told you was a flake if you had asked her. You didn't. And normal people say, what's up with dude? They know somebody. They're gonna ask you, "What's up with you didn't do that?" So I'm kind of got to look at you. What you doing? How you handling yourself? But you want to hang on to some shit that happened like a long time ago with a relationship with this man you barely knew and wasn't engaged to, didn't live with, don't have no kids by nothing. You want to hang on to that stuff and try to use it as a weapon to beat people over the head and talk about how they discarded you for him and all this old stuff. You doing too much. Whew. Don't you ever tell her this either, because you'll sound like an idiot. All you do is stick to the date that y'all was supposed to have. Get out your feelings and grow up. And make some jokes about it. Like I said, don't make any more dates with her, because it's a rough time for everybody. Just tell her you're going to eat lunch these days at this time. That's what you do. And if she want to join you to, ring you up on Skype you or whatever y'all be doing, and then just do it that way. So it'll be casual, and it's not like you doing nothing else. So just calm down. Question number 9, female 26 to 29. Oh, wait, that's the same one. Hold on a second. I'm on supposed to be on letter 10. 18 to 21, female from Chesapeake Bay. Huh. I was offered a job, a really high paying job too, compared to what I've had before, and my parents discouraged me from taking it. I just told them I want to wait until this coronavirus thing is over. 3 weeks later, though, the company called again, but I missed the call. I can wait to call them back and think about it, but my parents say don't take a job right now because they cannot have me possibly bringing the virus home. What do you think? Should I respect their needs more, or should I just take the high paying job, risk it, and even though it will cause a lot of drama with them probably? Or should I roll the dice and wait, hoping they still want me after the pandemic is over? Well, if your parents are worried about catching it and, they're older because you're in the 18 to 21 age group, but like, are you like their last kid, their first kid, somewhere in the middle? I mean, I don't have any clue how old your parents are. Are they like in the health, they have a health risk of some sort, like the age, or they have, some kind of lung problems or something like that? There might be a real solid reason why they want to stay at home and keep everybody in the home in lockdown and not overly expose themselves to possible contamination by this virus. My thing is you living in their house and it's their house, you gonna do what they say. And that's it. Otherwise, you get out of their house. So if you're gonna be making enough money where you could go and live somewhere else where you don't have to bring it to your parents, you can talk to them and tell this thing is over by Zoom or video chat, whatever y'all want to do, and you up out of their house and you're not putting them at any kind of risk, then you do that. But as long as you live there and you're gonna be up under them and around them and breathing on them and sharing dishes with them and meals with them and air with them, and they don't want to have the coronavirus in the house, then you're gonna listen to what they say and you're not gonna take that job. And you can communicate that to those people, like, you really want it, but the timing is really bad. And you have to respect the fact that your parents are at risk and you cannot do anything that's going to possibly even remotely expose them to that kind of danger. You're very sorry. If the position is still open when all of this dies down, you would love to take it. But right now, you just absolutely cannot do that with a good conscience, because it would put your family at risk and you love them more than you love the career path. But you would, of course, love it, but you just love them more. Okay? That's how you do it. And you say it in, ways they'll be like, oh, she cares about her mommy and daddy. And if they can wait, they will. So let's move on. Question number 11. Female 21 to 26 out of Washington, D.C. I'm 22, and my mother does this weird thing since I have a boyfriend of 5 months. Every time I tell her something about him, she advises me to keep him. And if not, he might find another woman and fall under her spell. She put a couple of question marks in parentheses. Wait, have y'all heard of a mother doing this? She tells her daughter to keep the man because he might find another woman. This is interesting. My mom did the same thing with my ex who broke up with me, and during a full year after that, she would tell me things like, he might come back. And if he does, don't be stupid, take him back. Or would ask me, did he meet another girl? Wow, your mom is thirsty as hell. I'm sorry, but that's what's going on here. I feel like a normal reaction would be, you deserve better and you'll find someone else. but not take back the guy who broke your heart. I don't understand why she does that as if my entire fault if my relationship fails. I sometimes try to tell her that I also have my own voice and that I'm also a prize in my relationship. But that's not her first thought when it comes to my relationships. Also, I told her that a man can't be stolen by someone else if he really loves a woman, but she doesn't agree apparently. I just think it's hurtful that my own mother thinks that as if I don't have anything to bring to the table and that anyone would leave me and find someone better. Wow. By the way, my mother didn't do that with my brother or my older sister who was in a relationship. How do you know? You don't know what she said to them in private. They might tell you everything. You the baby of the family. Usually the babies tell the older siblings. The older siblings do not confide in the youngest. That's not how it goes. So your mama could have done all kind of stuff and you would not know it. So you should have been too young to understand even what you was hearing. So I don't believe that. I don't think that she's just gonna magically come up with this way of thinking about relationships. She's had this way of thinking for a while. You're just hearing about it now. That's the only difference. But you say you tried to tell her. No, no, no. You don't try. You grown, right? You in the 21 to 26 age group. That's a grown woman. You need to sit your mama down and say, "Look here. I don't want to hear that. I'm not thirsty like that. Okay, I'm not desperate. Rattle off your good qualities and say any man would be lucky to get this. So don't be trying to push me into a path of accepting some kind of dust mite as my man like he's the last man on this planet. I want to choose my man. I don't want to just accept the dregs of society just because you want to feel all desperate and stuff and trying to push that mess on me. Stop it. Don't ever say anything like that to me again. Are we going to have a real problem? You, of course, think what you want to, but I'm telling you, don't talk to me like that. Don't you ever try to tell me to take a man back, especially one who has done the most to do everything he could to hurt me. You don't care about what happened he did to me. Just take him back. What kind of mother says stuff like that? I would clown her real bad. And, she would be embarrassed. But that's what you need to do. And I'm not saying you got to cuss your mama. You please don't do that. But you need to talk to her in a very firm tone of voice and put your boundaries in place about how you will and will not be treated by your own mother, how you will and will not be talked to by your own mother, and the type of respect that you demand from your mother. Right now, you're not doing that. You whining to me. That's great because I can tell you what to do. But you better get busy doing it or this is just going to continue. She's going to be hounding you for the rest of your life. Yeah, that mama is thirsty. She needs some Gatorade because she is like, woo, quench the thirst. And she got me up here hitting my high notes and stuff. Question number 12, male, 37 to 45, out to UK. I'm not sure actually not sure of anything. With my daughter's situation right now, a lot of women is what? And they were all 19 once too. Well, I don't know. Okay, he just he is really in his little feelings. Okay, let's move on. My daughter's been a real loss this last year or two. She's outgrown most of her old friends. She's finished school. She hasn't decided on uni yet. So it's been hard for her to meet new people, friends, and she's starting going with this guy 7 months ago. But really, it's a nothing too. I know she's just at a loss and wants the company. She likes him, of course, but even admits herself lately she can't see it going very far or as a long-term thing, and that she's worth way more than he'll ever be. And that's not a dad talking. It's just who she is. She's a very smart, very pretty, has a lot of big dreams, extremely talented, and there's so much she wants to do in life. He's just a country boy, works in the supermarket, and wants nothing more. I mean, yeah, of course she does care for him, and I know she sort of needs him right now, but as we all know, that's a bad reason to be with someone. Okay, but I feel so helpless, and to top it off, he doesn't really seem that into it either, and I'm worried she's just a convenience for him even more than him to her. We've talked about everything a bit, but she's at a loss right now. There's hardly any friends for the first time in her life. She's confused about what she wants to do. She's lonely, but there's really no new outlets for her right now. I just feel really bad. I haven't let on, of course, but I can see what's happening. I hate seeing her where she's at, but I don't know how to help or even if it's in my place to try. or if I even could anyway. On the boyfriend thing, I feel like saying, look, just bloody dump this guy for a start. But but if I even did that, and she actually did, she'd be at even more of a loss. So, well, think on that. Just stay out of it. Let it run its course. We all went there. Excuse the rant, but I really don't know much of how to do anything right now. Or if it's all even in my business with her being 19, but I just hate seeing her where she's at. Any thoughts are appreciated. Dude, of course it's your business. That's your daughter. Until the day they throw dirt on your face, that's what happens to her is going to be your business. Do not throw that, well, it's not my business shit at me. She's 19. Okay, teen. That's still a kid. Okay, don't. So you need to stop trying to, pussyfoot around with this and take charge. Sit your daughter's little butt down and talk to her like a father. You pussyfooting around and being all gentle and delicate and stuff. You need to say, look, this is what you gonna do. You are going to get a college catalog. We are going to send you away to school so you can get away from this little bum here before you end up pregnant and stuck here by some dude working at a grocery store. I'm not going to have it. You're far too intelligent. You're far too beautiful. You have far too many options to ruin your life like that, and I'm not going to let you do it. You are going to be on the first thing smoking up out of here as soon as that coronavirus thing lifts. We're going to get you an apartment. You're going to roll in college, and you're going to take some classes. Every single major requires the foundational course, what they call it, my mind went blank. But the courses that you have to take to graduate, she don't have to decide on a major right now. She can take those. And she's going to take those classes, and she's going to get used to being away from home and going to class and studying and meeting some other students, and she's going to get her butt out the house and do something with herself. You're going to direct her life. She's lost right now. She needs you to step in, not to sit there writing me saying, well, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I should stay out of it. When your kids are lost, you don't just you flip your hands up and act like you don't know what to do. You step in and you take charge. That's when they need you. It doesn't matter how old they are. If you see your child floundering, you're their parent. You step in. And I'm not saying like you got some grown dusty doing stupid stuff like drugs and all that old stuff. You don't be all codependent on them. But if there's a way, especially if you have the money, and your child says, I don't want to live this lifestyle anymore, help me. Okay, what you gonna do? Well, I don't know. He's 19. You're supposed to help save your child, sir. And your daughter's floundering right now. Throw her a life raft and pull her to shore. Okay? Help her. But you got to get your mind right first. I feel helpless. What kind of daddy are you? I don't think my father ever felt helpless about anything. And because he didn't, he always was there like a rock. We knew that if we got into any kind of trouble, he was going to save us. If he had to get on a plane, a train, or ride a horse, whatever way he had to do, he was going to get there. That's the kind of confidence that I had in that man. Your daughter needs to have that in you. And Rach, you just sitting up there, I feel so helpless. Useless. You better get your shit together. Female 21 to 26 out of Lowell, Massachusetts. I feel like a normal wait a minute. I'm messing up my thing here. Okay, yeah, here we go. Question number 13. Female 2026 out of Lowell, Massachusetts. I met a guy through a volunteer group several months ago. He made a big effort with me straight away and focused on being with me over anyone else. After a period of catching him looking at me a lot, I asked him to an event with me. He said he was busy that day, but thanked me for the invite. He then asked me to let him know if I wanted to go to another similar event soon. So a month or so passed with the connection growing and us spending the occasional break together getting coffee. So last weekend I asked him to go out with me this weekend. He said he had plans, but immediately offered alternative days. We decided we would go to a festival, and he came back with a few suggestions, which were very expensive and not really suitable. When I made some counter suggestions that were cheaper but a similar thing, he said, maybe, and that was the end of that. I asked him to get back to me soon. The event is next week. I saw him last night with friends, and he acted normally with me, laughing and flirting like always, but didn't mention getting together or the festival, and I don't think he's going to. If he doesn't bring this up again, do I just drop it? It's like the elephant in the room now, and we're both part of the same friend group. I feel rejected and upset, to be honest. Yeah, because like you asked him out, right? So he's talking about going to these expensive things. He's expecting you to pay the money. So you did the right thing to give some alternate things. So if he were really interested in going out with you, then the price of the tickets and the expense of the event wouldn't have been the issue. It would have been the opportunity to have fun, be at a festival, and be with you. But he's declined. So that should tell you something. Okay? Understand what happened here. It's not about that. He wanted you to spend a bunch of money. So since you didn't do it and you declined, he knows that you onto his little games, which actually you really aren't. You just innocently saved yourself, but still the end result is the same. So you see him out and whatever, you see him when you see him, maintain distance. So he want to flirt and stuff, be like, no. He try to put his arm around you and stuff, flip his arm off of you. He tries to stand next to you, move away. You have to send a very clear message that, you're not going to be trying to use me and try to creep up on some booty or something thinking that you're going to be my little friend and stuff. Stop going to coffee with him. Unless there's like a group of you going, then you can go. But no one-on-one anymore. And stop chasing this man. He's a jerk. Okay, he's a jerk. He's a jerk. Oh, my hair is falling down. He's nobody for you to be putting any stock in. Okay, and you don't need to feel rejected and upset. It's not like he was your man. You met him, okay? It's the dude you met. So what? Go meet somebody else. You putting too much on it. Really, the first time you asked him and he said no, then the ball was in his court then. He couldn't go. He said, well, how about we meet up with such and such a day and let's do this and that and blah, blah, blah. But he didn't do that. So that was your clue right there not to pursue, but you didn't understand what was happening. Question number 14, female 21 to 26 out of Oklahoma City. I'm 22. My boyfriend is 26. We've been together for 2 years, living together for 6 months. I buy 90% of the groceries and cook 90% of the food in the house. I like cooking, and he pays for other household stuff, and that's just the arrangement that we have. No problems there. But my boyfriend eats a lot, and she puts that in caps and bold. Like, it astounds me. He's not super tall, but he's very muscular, and he just eats like a horse. For example, I made a whole box of pasta yesterday, a standard size box with sauce. I had one standard size bowl. I went back to the pot a few hours later, and it was empty. He ate the whole box minus my bowl. Sometimes if there's leftovers I put back in the fridge, he'll go back a few hours after dinner and eat that too. He takes a lunch to work, and I pack that away instantly and put a label on it. But oftentimes he eats his lunch for dinner for dinner that night. Wait a minute, what? If I go to the store and bring back a bag of chips, I'll have a couple. I'll go back a day or two later and it's empty. This happens all the time. Wow. I never get to have leftovers. I never get any of the stuff that I get from the store. If I ever want food, I have to cook something because he eats all the snacks and the leftovers. This has caused me to develop some really jacked up eating habits. I'll come back from the store, and as I'm putting stuff away, I'll eat as much as I can out of every container of stuff I buy because I know I won't get any later. It's the same if he buys groceries. So no matter who buys them, it doesn't matter. I don't know what to do because I can't just tell him to eat less or control what he's eating. That's kind of messed up. Do you have a suggestion to solve this problem? Also, simply buying more stuff would be a good solution, but we have to budget for groceries and don't have enough to buy more stuff every month. Yes, you do, because you're going to start separating your money. So he's going to buy the food that he likes to eat. Since he wants to eat enough for 4 people, then he needs to be, you say you buy the food, but no. He needs to be kicking in some money for that because you're not getting an equal share of the groceries that you buy. He's eating 90% of them. So that wouldn't work for me. When I cook something and I want to have some for lunch, I don't expect to go in there and find that you ate it for your after dinner snack when you already ate like a pig. So he wants to eat, it does take a lot of calories when you're a very muscular person. They have to, some of those football players, especially during training, they're eating 10, 15,000 calories a day and they're not getting fat. They're burning them. So, He could be eating 6, 7, 8,000 calories a day, and if he's working out or doing some athletic endeavors, he could very well be burning that off, and that's why he needs to eat so much. But whatever is his issue, that's not your concern. Your concern is the impact financially and how it's causing you a problem that you never get any of the food. He's eating all of it without any concern for what you're eating, and you're the one doing the cooking and the shopping and all the stuff. So you have to sit him down and say, look, you think that you don't want to tell him all this, but you better tell him. It's like when I cook, I expect to have, you're going to pack some for lunch. I expect to have mine for lunch too. I don't want you just being a pig, an inconsiderate jerk, eating up everything like nobody lives in this house but you. Nobody here says to eat a meal here but you. I'm sick of it. You're a greedy pig and I don't like it. So would you want to be hungry? Like if I cook and stuff, don't go back in the pot getting any more. Get your ass in your car and go to McDonald's and buy you what you want. Or you go in there and you cook you something else and make sure you clean the kitchen up too. Because when I go back, I want to have seconds like you had 15s. You're just being inconsiderate and selfish and a jerk, and I don't like it. And just tell him. Now, if he continues to do it, well, then you know what time it is. That's just how he is. And then you have a decision to make. Do you want to be in a relationship with a greedy pig man? Because then you have kids, you know what? He going to treat them the same way. And your kids going to be hungry. The CPS going to be at your house because your kids at school talking about they starving and daddy eats all the food. Yeah, he's very selfish, very self-centered. Because, a guy who thinks about his woman is always going to be, babe, did you get enough? Babe, you want some more? Babe, you still hungry? And if she says no, then, okay, well, I'm going to eat the rest because I'm still a little hungry. Is that okay? Yes, babe. Or no, I need something for lunch tomorrow or something. Okay, well, I'm going to take something out for you for lunch, then I'm going to eat the rest. Okay, that's how you make sure your woman is taken care of. He's not doing that. Girl, I'm just telling you, Kenzie B. This dude is just a pig. Man, I'll be bopping his ass upside the head with something. It's like, no, put that pot down. I have this thing about food. I don't know. And it's not like it's because we didn't have enough or anything. Maybe it was. Because you know what my brothers used to do? Okay. So say my mom made fried chicken or something, right? And the oldest brothers, man, they would always play games with me and my little brother. And they would end up taking our food. They would take our chicken. They would take it, so we didn't have anything. We might get a bite of our drumstick if we got that. So we'd be crying, and they would just be eating up everything. And when they were playing sports and stuff, they would have like, my mom would buy like, those big, she didn't even buy boxes of cereal after a while. She got, how they sell them in those big plastic bags, like a big old, like mountain Costco size bag of cereal in a plastic bag. Do you know in 2 days they would go through one of those by themselves? Nobody else would eat any, just the two of them. So it was really hard for me and my youngest brother. So maybe that's where it stems from. Maybe I had food insecurity, but it wasn't because we didn't have enough, but it was just like the stuff that I would like. If they liked it too, then I was over. I wasn't going to get any. That's just the way it was till I got old enough to start fighting back. And then I got to when I was tell my daddy, and then they would get their asses beat. So then I would get it. But when I was real little, it was horrible. So maybe that's where it stems from. But I don't like that. The way this guy is doing. You see, it reminds me too much of my brothers in that period of time. And I'm triggered. I would be triggered. Okay, so this girl says, question 15, 26 to 29 out of Cincinnati. I flew out to see my new long distance boyfriend who lives in another state recently. This was the first time that we met in person. Wow. We'll FaceTime every night for hours. He was so sweet to me. When making plans to fly me out to see him, he agreed to pay the full ticket price since I was the one traveling to see him. This was a non-issue, or so I thought. I was to stay at the house for 1 week. By the third day, I knew something was wrong. That's too long for a first meeting. He was acting passive-aggressive and less affectionate, but would still want nookie. He started to nitpick at things I said and was rude. He would play video games all day long. I would ask him what else he wanted to do, and he said nothing. I was so bored. He took me to the store once, to Panda Express and Wendy's and gas station beer. That's it. He asked me if I could buy lunch. I said, sure. We had a fight because he wasn't really talking to me all day and seemed distant. I touched his head in an attempt to show affection for cuddling, and he backed away from me. I asked him what was wrong. He said nothing. Then he actually said something is wrong. I think you are treating this like a vacation. I'm your checkbook, he says. I'm paying for everything. You're not offering to pay for anything. You aren't showing initiative to do things around the house either. He said, you just sit on the computer all day. I was literally sitting next to him while he played video games from morning to night because there was nothing else to do. And whenever I asked if he wanted to do something, he would say no. I was there for 6 days and we went outside for food 3 times. I kept everything I did super clean. His house was so cluttered and dirty. We couldn't even eat on his tables because they were covered with random objects. I had to move his stuff around just to sit my coffee cup down. After the fight, he went outside and I went to unload the dishwasher to show him I was helping out. He came back inside, but the tension was too much, so I called a taxi, got a hotel room, and a flight back. I told him I was leaving. He just said, okay. Didn't try to make it work or anything. I was so mad that I flew out across country just to be treated like that over drive-through food bills. Was I in the wrong? I was so nice to him the whole time, cleaned up after myself, offered to cook him meals, etc. Yeah, you were in the wrong. See, this is why I said people that say, well, you talk on the phone and that's, like getting to know somebody. I'm telling you, that doesn't work. You have to be around a person. Notice how she would spend hours talking to this dude. She thought it was fine until she gets there. And what happens in person is different. People's energy is weird. Having been around somebody and actually having to interact with them physically is when they have to let their guard down. They can't hide anything. And so she got to see the real him, and the real him was a jerk. And so now you know why he was on the internet dating site, because he's a loser. When guys are like this, they can't get no real woman where they live, so they got to get one from far, far away. They can't see him on a daily basis because they're a little jerk. So y'all need to pay attention to that. The guy who has some good sense can get a woman right in his neighborhood, in his area, in his city. He don't need to be online getting somebody states away. The only dudes who did somebody states away are dudes who are freaking losers. Okay? They are losers. Nobody in their area wants them because they can't interact on a personal face-to-face level. They don't have that skill set. They can only pretend to be something, and so they run these games on people online because you're hidden. You can project any kind of persona you want to over the internet. That doesn't mean that's who you really are, but you talking to somebody online for an hour or something. Anybody can pretend to be anybody for an hour, too. That ain't nothing. You don't know who this person is until you meet him in person. And you sitting up there flying out. He's supposed to come out to where you are and stay his butt in the hotel, and you meet him and he stays like a weekend or something, and then he goes on back where he came from. If you really want to meet him, you don't plan to go to no man's house and you just meet him for the first time and you sleep with him and stand in his place for a week. What was wrong with you? You handle this all kinds of fucked up ways. Yeah, them swipey things, man. I'm telling you, all them internet sites, every dude that I've ever met on the internet has had something majorly wrong with them. I mean, like scary wrong, like needing like hospitalization and pills wrong. Yeah, I can't. It's bad enough when you meet them face to face. But at least you get a vibe for their energy. If they're like super weird, they can't hide from you that well. I'm a good energy reader. But, it's just too much. This internet dating is just a joke. Question number 16, male 26 to 29 out of Memphis. I've had a tumultuous relationship with my ex. We were together about 2 months and things moved really quickly. She stayed at my place and things went sideways. I gave her possessions back, but she did not give me mine back. I returned her most sentimental possession back, a foam replica of her heart given to her by her doctor after she had a heart attack. A heart attack? Damn, what was wrong with her? She did not return my dog tags from my time in the U.S. Army. No contact for a couple of months, and then after about 6 months, she contacted me, and we had gotten back together for about 2 weeks. I didn't think about getting my things back that time around because it seemed like we both had made some genuine positive changes, but then the same problems occurred. Of course they did. We talked or yelled at one another after the latest breakup, and I told her I wanted my stuff back. She said she would give it to me. 2 months passed and nothing. I thought the extra time would help things. Wrong. She told me she was in the process of moving. All her things were in boxes, and I would get it when she gets situated. Yet she never gave me a timetable as when she was moving and when I would get it. Apparently, she is moving with someone else now, and even said that he would deliver the things to my place. Why is she doing this? Especially if she says she is content with her life, the life that she has now. I still love her and would like to try again, but things like this push me away. You're stupid. Okay, you was only with the broad for 2 months, and then two fucked up more weeks, and it's just a hot mess from day one to when it finally blew up in your face, and you still want to try again. What's wrong with you? She the only woman in the world? And where are you? Cincinnati? She the only woman. There's nobody else you could go out with, just her. See, I don't understand this kind of stuff. This is what I'm talking about. How dudes be lonely and they just feel like they have to have a woman, any woman, even if it's a woman that's stupid and puts them through all kind of changes and has another man. He still want to be with her, still want to be around her, still crying about some material possessions that you could replace. You ain't in the army no more, so what you need dog tags for? Tell her that whatever you had there, she can throw it in the nearest garbage can. You don't want it no more. And then block her. Because she's only doing this because she knows it's getting to you and it's her way to mess over you. And you keep letting her because you don't have good sense. You don't never, and then plus you don't never leave stuff over somebody's house that's important to you, like your dog's eggs. If it was really that important, it should have been around your neck. So when you left, they left with you. So, that you made a bunch of dumb decisions here. But what the dumbest decision would be for you to let her give that man your stuff and your address and come to your house. Now, that would be the dummiest move ever. Because you don't know what she's told him. And now he knows where you live. You better call that broad, that stupid, dumb, bunny broad that you was messing with, and tell her that she can burn that shit, you don't want it, and then block her. I'm trying to tell you, you doing too much. This is the kind of stuff, she don't know what, like I said, you don't know what she told him. And he could be coming over there thinking he's saving her from something. You a stalker or something. He end up hurting you or even worse, killing you. And then what you going to do? All about some stupid dog tags. This don't make no damn sense. Or a shirt or some shit that you could go back and, replace. Oh, I don't understand how people be thinking. I don't have nothing I want that bad. Question number 17, female, 21 to 26, out of Canada. I met this guy back in January. We hit it off well, and our date together was terrific. He told me he enjoyed the date with me, and he was very attracted to me physically and to my personality. However, he said I reminded him of someone he used to date and that he couldn't see anything progressing to something serious. Okay, well, there it is. He asked if we could just be friends and keep it casual. But I said no, because back then it felt like he was offering me up breadcrumbs. But recently I messaged him to gauge his current headspace, and now he's saying he's too busy to date thanks to work and sports, even though I never asked or implied I wanted to date. We're just having a casual conversation. I told him I was not asking to date, just chatting. And he said he knows, but he just wanted to clarify things. He then went on to say he's happy to catch up and, quote, hang out. I'm so confused. He gives me all these reasons he doesn't want to date and knows I don't want anything casual, and yet he says he's still open to seeing me. Does this mean he wants to date me, but he cannot commit to anything? Or is he afraid to open up and he's just testing the waters? I'm so confused. Can you please explain what a guy means when he says he just wants to hang out? I assume it's just to hook up, but he isn't giving me these vibes, and maybe I'm just naive. No, you're just dumb. You're not naive, you're dumb. And you're being very desperate. Okay, the man done already told you. He don't want to date you because you remind him of somebody in the past. Evidently, it wasn't a good reminiscence because otherwise he would have been happy to date you. He said no. And then you said, well, okay, well, I don't want to be friends. So that means you didn't want him either. So why did you call him? Talking about we just want to chat. Why? He's the only man in the world that you could chat with? You know you called him because you wanted something. Don't try to play me like that. You wanted something and he blew your shit out the water and shut you down right off the bat. And so then you try to play that game like, well, I didn't ask you to date. You said you were gauging where his headspace was. That means you wanted something. You were looking for something. Otherwise, where his headspace was would have been irrelevant. You think I give a shit where my ex's headspace are? I hope their headspace is full of bullets. That's what I hope. I don't want to see them clowns. I just want them to eat shit and die. That's what I want them to do. And you sit up there calling him, talking, well, where's your headspace? You know what's going on? I didn't ask you about dating. Knowing full well that's what you wanted. So he says he's happy to hang out and catch up and hang out. No. It's this time I want you to delete his number out of your phone and stop calling this man. Leave him alone. Move on. This is ridiculous. You're not confused. You're just hoping for something that you know is not going to happen. And you thinking I'm going to tell you a way to make it happen. I'm not going to do that. You're being very stupid right now. And you about to play yourself. Okay, there's nothing worse than a young lady playing herself with a dude that already told you straight up he's not even playing any games with you. He's straight up and he reiterated the exact same fact. Dude is like being 100. Okay, so I can't fault him for nothing. This is all you being stupid, chasing after something that already told you he ain't interested. He don't want you. Okay, he doesn't want you. Accept it and stop this before he goes on Facebook and tell everybody how desperate you are. Yeah, just doing too much, just chasing after some man. I just don't understand it. I have too much pride for that. I would never ooh, my fingers would just rot and fall off if I even tried to call up one of my exes. I can't anyway because I deleted their numbers, but still. I'm like, and don't remember phone numbers. I'm trying to remember mine. So there's no chance of that happening. So question number 18, male, 21 to 26 out of West Virginia. So my boyfriend of 3 months doesn't like one of my friends. Let's call this guy friend L. I'm that kind of girl who doesn't normally have a lot of guy friends, but I've known L for years. Rarely, me and L meet up for food and a movie and text sometimes, but it's not really too much. And it's completely platonic. Never, ever will it be anything more. But he's important to me just like some of my girlfriends. Okay. I mentioned watching a movie with L as I would with all my girlfriends, and my boyfriend didn't like it. He said he's trying to chat me up. I apologized and said it made me sad. I assured him that I only like him and nobody else. Do you think I'm in the wrong here? I understand where he's coming from, but it's absolutely platonic and would disgust me as I see L like a little brother. Do you think it's a good idea? If so, I'll try and limit things like texting and tagging him on social media with L. Thanks. No, I don't think that. I think that you did that. You be giving your boyfriend way too much power. Your boyfriend of 3 months. You know what you supposed? Y'all be too nice to these men. He know he's just being insecure because he knows he's a little twerp. So this is what you're supposed to do when you have a situation like that. I tell you, this is exactly what I said to my boyfriend. Because I made up until, I got like way in my 20s, all my friends was dudes. All of them. When I would roll out to go to clubs and stuff, two, three niggas. I did not go nowhere with some women because every time I did, it would be some bullshit. They so it was always some drama. And so I just learned that it was just easier for me to go with dudes. I always had somebody to dance with, somebody to buy me drinks, and somebody to watch over me to make sure nobody did anything too funny style. Because there's nothing like having two thug-ass niggas that love you to death, and here comes somebody trying to be funny, right? And then suddenly, magically, they right there like, what's going on? Who this? And then you know how dudes do that thing where they be looking down their chin at you, doing, what's your name, nigga? Who you? What you doing? And then the dudes get intimidated because, I didn't roll with no little raggedy dudes. Oakland's finest. So that was just that. But this dude here is very insecure, girlfriend. So this is what you need to do. You sit your little 3-month boyfriend down and say, look, I've been friends with L for blank years. I'm going to continue. I was friends with L before I met you. I'm going to continue to be friends with L while I'm with you. And I'm going to continue to be friends with L after I don't even know you no more. So I want you to understand. That's how it is. L ain't going nowhere until I decide he's going somewhere. Or he decides, but it won't be anything that you influence at all. So either you get with the program and you go along with stuff it is, and I don't want to hear this conversation from you ever again, or you get the fuck out now. You decide. I'm not going to try to keep you here telling you what you best do. If you ain't comfortable, there's the door, hit it. But I'm just telling you how this is going to roll. If you decide to stay, this is the program under which we will be operating. So you decide. When I want to go to a movie with L, I'm going. When I want to have play cards with L, I'm going. When I want to text L, I'm going to do that. And when I want to talk to L on the phone, I'm going to do that too. Now, if you have a problem with that, I don't know what to tell you. And my little boyfriend, he had a hard time. I was living with one of my guy friends. He had the downstairs, I had the upstairs. And he was like, "Are you living with a man?" I'm like, "So?" "Well, I just never heard of that." I said, "Well, now you have." And he's like, "Well, but," I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you. He's not going anywhere, and neither am I. We had a really nice place, and we split the rent. So it was a place neither one of us could afford it by ourselves, but together we made it work. Hella nice. So it's like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, you gonna come in and cover dude's half of the rent? If you're not gonna do that, then you don't have a voice in this. You don't have a voice in this conversation. So he shut up because he know he was about to unass all that money. I'm telling you, you got to come hard with these men. You don't never give them nothing. You don't let them come in the door running your life. Don't ever, ever do that. You decide what makes you happy and you stick to it. He don't like it, then he can get out. Because you were happy before you met him. You'll be happy when he's gone too. Remember that. Because he's replaceable. Good friends are hard to find. Question number 19. This is from a male in the UK, 18 to 21 age group. I live at home with my parents. I live in this house with all my siblings. But now that I'm 19, I've decided I want to move out to go to uni. I've saved up a lot and I know I can afford it, but my parents refuse to allow me. I've tried every method to convince them to let me, but they won't even consider it. They've even threatened to never talk to me again if I move. I really love my parents and I want to cut ties. So I feel this is a really important step I need to take. Please help me. Grow a pair. God damn it, you're 19 years old. I mean, it's not like you're a child anymore. What are you doing? How do you mean they won't let you? How are they stopping you? All you have to do is whatever you bought, the stuff that they bought, you leave it there because that's their stuff. You put your stuff in a suitcase and then you walk out the door. Set up something, go rent an apartment with another guy friend of yours or something. Okay? And then you just move out. You don't need your parents' permission to move out. You don't need their agreement. You don't need their buy-in. You just move. Say, well, I'm not going to ask you anymore because I'm a grown man now. I'm going to move. But once you do, let me tell you how this is going to work. Don't ask them for nothing. Don't ask them for a dime. Don't ask them for a piece of bread. Nothing. Okay? Because you're gonna either be the man or you're going to be the child. You can't go back and forth and waver and wave, step on the fence and do all the stuff. Once you leave there against their wishes, that means you're making a declaration of manhood, which means you're standing on your own, which means don't you ever ask them for nothing. Never again. Are you ready for that? If you're not, then shut your mouth and sit back and just wait. Wait till you're 20 or 21 or something. Save more money. Because the thing about going to college is, you can always go. You're not going to be too old. So you just decide. You save up a lot of money, but how much is rent? How much is tuition? How much is books, food, transportation? All that. You got to factor in all of those things in your budget. I'm assuming you'll still be working. So, put together some financial, some spreadsheets and figure it all out. Once you're comfortable with it and you feel like you have enough of a nest egg to make it happen, then you move out. Till then, you stay put and shut up. Question number 20, female 30 to 36 in the UK too. God, all these people from the UK again. I had a physical encounter with the doctor I worked for probably close to 4 years ago when I was in my late 20s. A physical encounter, what's that mean? I started thinking about it today. I was looking for a person to whom I could tell my story. It's very insignificant compared to what others have been through in your recent video series on narc relationships, but here it is. A patient called and asked for a refill on his medicine. The doctor I work for is an old school doctor, so we still had paper charts. I couldn't read his handwriting, so I asked him, "What does this say?" He grabbed my neck and pushed my head down into the chart and held me there. Oh, hell no. He said, "You can't read that. It's written clearly." I froze. I didn't react. I didn't tell him to let me go. Why didn't I? Oh, my God. I asked my coworker if she saw what happened, and she said yes, but he was only joking around. I have never confronted him about it, and I continue to work for him. Nothing like that has ever happened again, so I guess it was a one time thing. The only regret I have is that I didn't defend myself. I should have backhanded him or at least yelled at him to get his hand off of me. That's the only time this man has ever put his hands on me in that way, and I let him do it. It's been 4 years, but I still think about what I should have done. What would you have said? How would you have handled such a situation? He would have become every kind of motherfucker I could have thought of. And then probably punched him, slapped him, kicked him in the nuts, all kind of stuff. One thing you not going to do is put your hands on me unless I send you an invitation, and you trying to like forcefully push somebody's head down like you so stupid you can't see he got to mash your face like he's mashing a puppy's nose into the pee or something. That how they be trying to train a puppy. That's the effect of what he was trying to do. Oh no, 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 no. If he survived what came out of me, he it was a miracle. No. Queen Evilise say I'd still be in jail. That's what I'm talking about. Because I'm telling you, I would have commenced to beating his ass. They'd have jumped up on, you know how they had those exam table, jumped up there and went a Bruce Lee. Wah! And then they commenced to kicking his ass. No. Yeah, he was doing the most. But my thing is when I feel threatened, I react with violence. A lot of women react with fear, and that's what you do. They like gear and headlights. They don't know what to do. And my thing, I just react with violence. So, yeah, you know how they show in the cartoons where the people be, they be showing the background change of colors and stuff. It's like they be flying through the air for miles. Ah, 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 and they still flying. That would have been me across that office until I landed in his face. But you're going to continue to beat yourself up about this until you come to grips with the fact that, unless you grew up in an environment, I grew up with three brothers, and what brother, they like to fight. I mean, that's all they did was, they had boxing gloves, and one of them was in judo and karate and all this stuff. And so they was always fighting, lifting weights and stuff. So, I learned how to do that. I learned how to box. I learned, it's, most girls unfortunately don't have that kind of thing. So it's the natural inclination is for me to respond with violence. And so that was sad when I was married, but whatever. You knew how I was, what you doing? And so it's like, if you're the kind that freezes like that though, and now you know that about yourself, please take some self-defense courses, because what you want to do is do something where you feel empowered. So something like that should ever happen to you again, you'll feel confident that you won't have that response, that you'll feel good about the way you handle it. You'll be able to defend yourself. You'll feel like, yeah, I didn't take that shit. You'll have that kind of attitude instead. So look into that. They have self-defense courses for women. Depending on how far you want to go, you boxing, kickboxing. I mean, whatever you want to do. Take some courses and strengthen your body and empower yourself so that this won't ever happen to you again. Anybody would do something like that to you, you will instantly react because you've been trained to, and you will come out swinging. And he will be sorry he put his hands on you. That's what you need to do. This is, yeah. Well, there's other places you could punch people that hurt them more than in the face. Because, I mean, you don't know the height differential. So, I mean, if a dude is too tall, you're going to have a hard time reaching his face anyway. But no matter, them nuts is always within reach. Always. But, ooh, that's a very sad situation. It happened on the job. Man, you know what kind of lawsuit you had? Too bad you didn't know. You could have got paid big time. Question number 21, female under 18. Oh, no. San Antonio, I usually try not to answer people under 18. What's going on here? I'm just 16. I haven't got a lot of experience with relationships. I'm just confused right now about my relationship. I don't know what to do. Sorry for the bad formatting. I'm on mobile. The following list is the order in which these things happen. Number 1, got mad that I was talking to my ex and got mad that I still wear the pajama pants that my ex gave me. How would he know that unless you opened your big mouth and told him? You could have said your mama gave them to you. Why did you have to tell him that? Number two, got mad that a guy called me and I deleted his number. How would he know that a guy called you and you deleted his number unless your big mouth told him? Number three, the same guy texted me again and my boyfriend wanted to text him. Why's your boyfriend having access to your phone? Number four, I told him that a long time ago a coworker thought I was cute. And then the next time I worked with that coworker, my boyfriend came to my work and stayed there until that coworker left for 2 hours. Why would you tell your boyfriend that when he's already shown you that he's an idiot? You just like stirring up shit, don't you? Number five, I made a list of shit I shouldn't do that included don't talk to other guys and think about him more, etc. Number six, got mad that I named my car a guy's name. And number seven, we broke up. We were still friends, and he got mad that I was texting a guy. Then he made a rule that if a guy texted me, I would tell him their name and what we talked about, and if I initiated a conversation with him. I'm sorry, this is stupid. I'm just confused. You're not confused. You are stupid, though. Luckily for you, you're only 16, so you have time to fix this stupidity. And number one, any dude try to tell you what to do with your stuff, you fire him immediately. I mean, immediately. There should be no conversation about it. He tried to tell you what to do. Look at your phone. Control what's on your phone. Control who you call. Tell you what you're going to do. Any of that, you'd be like, oh, this relationship is over. And that's it. There's no explanation needed. You don't have to give him an excuse. Number two, look at this channel. There's some videos about women talk too much. I want you to memorize every word of it. And stop running your mouth telling your boyfriend all kind of extraneous, nonsensical information about other men. That's conversations you didn't need to have. Talk to him his ass about some book, something you saw on Facebook, some magazine, movies, news articles, going to college, classes, anything, except some other man. You don't ever talk to your man about some other man unless it's your relative. That's a dummy move. Okay, that means you were looking for attention, and you got it. But in a very bad way. That's a dangerous way when you have a man who's a crazy, jealous fiend. You know, people end up dead like that. Stop playing them kind of games. It's very dangerous and very silly. Okay? So you watch some of these videos on here because you got some growing up to do. And really, what you don't need to be dating anybody anyway because you know your maturity level is definitely lacking. Question number 22, female 18 to 21 out of Duluth, Minnesota. My boyfriend is 22. I'm 19. We've been together for a little over a year. I love him a lot. But we have one problem. He breaks things when he gets angry. Ooh, he would so be my ex. Yeah, she is, true storm. But, you know, I be trying to be nice to him because she's really young. She's only 16, you know, so she don't know yet. But, I mean, you know, she had to have felt uncomfortable, and that's a warning sign that something is wrong. And girls have to learn that when they feel that way, to let that go. That situation is nothing you need to hang on to. Okay, so let's see how he breaks things. When we lived at his grandparents' house in his room, he broke his wall mirror and his closet door, like off the hinges, and a bunch of other stuff. So he's destroying his grandparents' house. That's what he was doing. But now that we live at my family's house, he doesn't break anything unless it's his. But he just recently broke our brand new couch because of an angry outburst over an argument. He makes good money and thinks just buying a new couch or just buying a new door fixes things. He's only broken one thing of mine, and he never lashed out at me. He can be scary, but I generally don't think he'd ever hurt me. But I feel like he has real deep issues, and I know he won't go to a therapist. What should I do? Break up with him. Okay, see, my thing is this. You ain't going to tear up my stuff. Because you start tearing up my stuff, that means you're tearing up me. What I own is me. I worked for that. Or in your case, your parents worked for it. And he broke it? How you gonna break a couch? What did you do? I mean, either that was one of them real cheap couches from like Jennifer Furniture, them little things made out of paper mache, or he's just super destructive. And when you have somebody who's just that destructive, he don't give a shit about nobody's property, nobody's investment, nobody's sentimental value. He don't care about nothing. All he cares about is, well, I'm mad, and so I'm going to act a fool right now. But see, this is what's interesting about them when they do stuff like this. And, you know, he makes really good money. I bet you he don't go to work acting like that. I bet you he ain't broke shit at his job. So you know that? That's how you know they control it. He's putting on a show. He's trying to intimidate the people around him in his personal life so he can get his way. That's all that is. So you call him on and say, well, how many things have you broken at your job? So he can say, oh, nothing. I've never broken anything there. So you only choose to break things at my house and at your grandparents' house. That's what you're telling me. And then watch him look at you and blink. Say, well, I'm going to tell you this. You're not going to break nothing else around here because you're not going to be here anymore. I want you to get out. Well, this relationship is over. You show too much disrespect to people. I can't believe, your elderly grandparents, you're up there breaking up their stuff. They're old. They don't have, you should be breaking up anything for them, making them having to be suffering, having their property destroyed and stuff by you. You're going to get out. And since you make such good money, you need to go and live in a place by yourself, and you just destroy it, and the only person who will be affected by it is you. You break it, you suffer, you fix it, you pay. That's what you do. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. You know. And she's like, but how would you, if somebody messed up their grandparents' house, see, he wouldn't have been able to come up in my parents' house. I'm like, oh no, because that's your grandparents, that's your blood. And you gonna tear up that shit like that? I know you wouldn't give a shit about my parents, my stuff at my house, because we ain't your blood. So they say blood is thicker than water, and you gonna be tearing up all that stuff, and you think you gonna come over to our house and tear up our stuff? Oh no. But see, I wouldn't have a dude do that. My daddy would just shoot you. That man was crazy. But I would know better than bring no man to try to live up in his house that I wasn't married to. That would be like a fatal mistake. That so wouldn't happen because he would get in that dude's face. And what kind of bitch nigga is you? That you going to be living up in some other man's house. Motherfucker, go get your own house. My daughter stand here until you do. And so that would have been that. And I just would have been like, oh. But, there's something to say about that. The dude, he's making good money. Why is he living at your house like that with your parents like that? He's trifling. And with his grandparents living off of them. So he don't have to pay no rent. No, he need to pay his own. He need to be kicking it hard because when he don't have no money, that he'll be thinking twice about destroying shit because he'll be like looking at his little change like, oh no, that's going to cost $500. I only have $800. What am I going to do? Question 23 of 25 questions again. Female 46 to 55 out of the UK. Deb, my problem is I fear that my son is what you call a dusty. Oh my God. I have 5 grown children, 4 daughters and 1 son. All my daughters are doing well, working with kids, married, engaged, or in a relationship. My son, 25, is the youngest. I've been divorced for many years now, and I'm in a very good relationship with a lovely man for 13 years. The problem is I've been on disability for 3 years now. I cannot work anymore because I have rheumatoid arthritis, and my son is the only one at home in the family house. I live with my partner nearby, but I'm constantly bailing him out with food and paying the rent, electricity, gas, etc. because they're still in my name. He seems stuck in his own life. He did work for 6 months of this year, and he had the money to pay the bills, but it was due to me ringing up constantly to make sure that he does it. I recently came into a sum of money, not very big, but it wasn't too small. I don't really want to spend or waste it, but basically to try alternative treatments instead of drugs, etc. Basically, I want to just worry about my own health for a while instead of constantly trying to motivate my son to get a job. Besides, I want my house back, but not with him in it. I love him dearly and have a good relationship with him, but he's basically a nice guy, but he drives me to distraction. By the way, he was diagnosed with a mild learning disability while in school and left out at 16. He does not seem to know what to do with his life. He has no ambition and no inclination to get a job. He never asked me for money, and at times he has gone hungry. Good. But I would go and buy food for him. He does not drink or do drugs. He's pleasant but shy. His sisters think he takes advantage of me and that I'm too soft with him. He's lazy and does not keep the house in good order. Unfortunately, I cannot motivate him at all and seems content to drift along as he is. I'm weary from watching out for him, and I don't know what to do to make him see I cannot financially support him anymore. It causes problems between me and my partner, but I couldn't just throw him out on the street. I'm at my wit's end. I would appreciate any advice as I do not know what to do anymore. Yes, you can just throw him out on the street, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to say, look, son, you have 60 days from May 1st to get a job and to move out. I want my house back, and I don't want you in it. you're going to get out. You're going to start to be an adult that you are. Stop living like a child off of me. I'm old, I'm on disability, and I can't do this anymore. I refuse to even try. You're going to kick it on your own like a man should. So you start looking for a job and figure out what you're going to do. Go figure out how you're going to rent a room somewhere and make the magic happen because you're going to be the fuck up out of here. I don't care where you're going to be, but it won't be here. And then I don't want you coming over here, ask me for nothing. You're not going to spend the night over here. And if you fuck up and lose your job or something, you're just going to be sleeping on the street because you're not coming back here. Your time here is over permanently forever. I want you to understand that. So May 1st to June 1st, June 1st to July 1st, by June 30th, you're going to be out of here. That's it. If you're not out of here voluntarily, I'm going to take your stuff and pitch it outside and change the locks. That's what we're going to do. So you make a choice. Do you leave willingly and happily, or are you going to leave by force? But you're getting out. You're not going to be here on July 1st. It's not going to happen. And that's how you got to do it. You wouldn't have to evict him. He's not a tenant. He's her son. He ain't paying no bills. He ain't paying no rent. You just toss his ass out. That's a family thing. That's the family house. Just get him out. Say, get the fuck out. Oh, man, these sons are just so trifling, these mothers. Well, he wouldn't ask me for food, but I would go and buy him some. No, he's supposed to starve. Or go to the soup kitchen or go dig in garbage cans to find his food. You're not supposed to be stepping in, being all codependent, taking care of a grown man. See, that's what you keep doing. I know this is going to be hard for her. She's not going to have the strength to do it. But that's what you need to do. Man, let that be my son. I would have been tossed his butt out. It's like, what? You think I'm going to take care of you and you ain't going to work? You work 6 months? Huh? Well, I don't know what you're going to be eating the other 6 months, where you going to be living, but it ain't going to be here. Who's terrible? I don't think I'm terrible at all. I think that a mother who lets her grown ass son live off of her like a damn barnacle is who's terrible. It's like you can't, if you treat your sons like this is what you end up with. One of these dusty bums we be talking about, trying to live off of women and carpetbagging and hoboing everywhere because they don't have nothing. Looking for somebody to live off of and some place to rest their nappy head at night. That's what you end up with. So you need to be terrible. You got a son, make his ass do something. And if he don't want to do it, too bad. I don't know what you're going to do. You'll be living in a park with a tent. Your sleeping bag and wander up and down the street with a grocery cart. I don't know what you're gonna do, and I don't care. Figure it out, cause I'm the one who suffered and raised you and birthed you and carried you and all this stuff. My time with you as your mama is over. Okay, you a grown ass man. Make the magic happen. Get out of here. Just get the hell out. And that would be me. He'd be like, "Mom, you're so mean." Oh, whatever. But guess what? When you get your shit together, you'll thank me. Because right now, you living the life of Riley on my dime. And I'm not appreciating it. She's on disability. I mean, she's on a fixed income. And he just living off of her like a damn sponge. Question number 24. Male, 18 to 21 from Boston. I'm having a really hard time in my relationship due to the coronavirus thing. My girlfriend is expecting a lot from me because of the stay-at-home orders. We went to school together, but now our school is closed for the rest of the year. Normally, she would have no problem giving me time to do my schoolwork, but that was only our face-to-face interaction was through video chatting. She wants me to call her in the morning and stay on the phone with her for as long as I can until I absolutely have to hang up. If I want to hang up, she'll ask me why and then tell me not to keep her waiting if I have somewhere to be. Before the quarantine started, she would never say stuff like this. One thing that's been happening a lot lately is her blowing up my phone with texts. And then calling me crying when she doesn't get a response. Last week, I got off to do my work and put my phone on Do Not Disturb to mute the notifications. And about 2 hours after that, I checked my phone only to find a bunch of text messages from her asking where I am and what I'm doing, along with some missed FaceTime calls, all within 15 minutes of each other. I called her right back, and she answered the phone crying, asked me if I even care about her. Oh, my God. Of course I cared about her, but I told her I was doing my schoolwork. Really, she should be spending the time on her own schoolwork, but I found out she hasn't even bothered to check assignments online. Then the sleep call started. Okay, this girl is just doing the most. She would call me just to fall asleep with me on the phone. I get really tired and have headaches the next day, but I did the best I could to stay with her because I know that she likes that. Our most recent incident included her calling me to go to sleep, telling me that I didn't want to fall asleep on the phone, and us getting into an argument, and then her calling me crying later, asking me if I loved her. I feel bad for making her upset, so I stay up with her anyways, regardless of whether I hate it or not. I also get to spend more time with my family now that I'm stuck in the house with them, so I want more time to do that as well, but she doesn't like it because she wants me to talk to her all day. Anytime I tell her I want space to myself, she gets mad and tells me that I made her wait all day only for me to tell her I want some time for myself, which is never true. I love talking to her and I never go a day without talking on the phone, but it's just never enough. I understand that times are hard right now, but I feel like my relationship is taking over my life. It took over mine for these minutes it took me to read this fucking novel you wrote. What do I do to get her to follow through with our compromises? Are these actions normal for what's been happening right now? No, your girlfriend's a psycho. She's a psycho. You know what? If you was my son, I'd be snatching that phone from you and saying, "Bitch, do get a life, okay? This boy trying to go to school. He's gonna talk to you once a day from like I don't know 7 to 7:30 in the morning, and that's it. You need to be doing something with yourself the rest of the day. Don't call him. Don't call him. Don't." And then that would be that. And I'd be waiting for her to call so I could act a complete fool and go to her house and act a fool with her parents and talk to them about I'm filing a restraining order because your daughter's stalking my son and she's harassing him. He's trying to do his schoolwork and she's just interfering with his life and his future success. And, you need to get her together. She got some mental problems. Who calls somebody like that? I'm just like, what he's going to end up doing, having to do, is to break up because a whole bunch of people are going to be breaking up because of coronavirus, the corona divorces, corona breakups. Because people, you be stuck around somebody, it's bringing out a whole new side of folks. All the cleanness, all the like narcissism, all the neediness, all the laziness, all the sheer just ridiculousness of these relationships that people can keep hitting when you don't see them all the time. You only see them intermittently. They can put their little mask on for that, right? But now you there. They're there like 24 hours a day. At least, most of the day. And so there's no place to hide. So the real them is coming out and people are not liking what they're seeing. There's going to be a whole bunch of divorces and separations and move outs and all kind of stuff happen once people can get, back out in the street. It's going to be ugly. Just judging by these letters and conversations I've been having with people on Facebook and, these other platforms I be on and stuff, looking for conversation and, fodder. I'm just like, it's going to be a whole bunch of breakups. Question number 25, which is our last question of the day. This is a young lady in the 30 to 36 age group out of the UK. I have an issue that no one seems to be able to resolve successfully. I've been married for nearly 3 years now. My husband and I have recently bought a house. It's a renovation project, and my mom offered me 15,000. Is that pounds? That L thing? Pounds. Initially, this was an early inheritance, but now it has turned into a gift. This will be wonderful. However, it now seems to be wielded as a form of power. The money paid for the builder and nothing more. My mom and her partner, the partner who has not provided any financial assistance and lived in my mom's house rent-free, a dusty, in other words, has been up for around a fortnight in total. We bought the property in, October 2019 to help out with the house, i.e. cleaning up after the builders, painting, relaying carpets, etc. They have both worked really hard for the days they've been up and paid to put themselves in a B&B opposite our new property. They refused to stay with us in our rental property about 45 minutes away. The problem is that now they have had themselves a key cut without asking us if this was okay. They have been up in the house and discussed things with our plumbers, builders, roofers, electricians without our knowledge and made decisions without speaking to us. They have also started to tell us what needs doing in our own house and criticizing our decisions. I have made attempts to discuss the situation without upsetting anyone, such as, can we please have the key? And make an excuse for needing it, but I have been told that since they had it cut, it belongs to them. I made a lighthearted joke that they can own a key to someone else's home, and I point out that I don't have a key to their home, all to no avail. So we've had to resort to changing the locks to stop them going in and interfering with the decisions we made, but that has not gone down well. I've said numerous times that the house doesn't belong to them, and therefore all decisions will be made by my husband and I, but I just get comments about how ungrateful we are for their help which are hurtful, as we are very grateful for their help, but not their interference. I know they love the house, as my mom's partner, when we first bought it, said he would have bought it himself as he loves it, and my mom concurred. But I think this may be part of the problem. I'm not sure if it's the money that's the problem. It seems to be more the amount of time they spent helping out with the renovations, especially with her partner, who seems to have a need for control. But we would like some advice as to how to resolve this problem in the best way. We don't want to fall out with them. We don't really want to upset them. And all that we want is for them to accept that this is not their property and they have no right to make decisions. Thanks in advance. You want too much. First of all, you dealing with a crazy mama and a dusty ass bum partner of hers or something. This is the number one thing right here. Your builders and your decorators and your plumbers and your electricians and your gardeners and whoever else you have at that property. You make it very clear. Look at that man's face right there, your husband, and look at my face right here. We the ones that's writing you the check, motherfucker. So don't you listen to nobody but one of us. Anybody else comes telling you something, you say, well, you need to go and talk to the owners of the property about that. We take our orders from them. That's what you say. You don't let that. Why they're listening to them is you haven't put down no kind of boundaries and you didn't put no bass in your voice. Watch a motherfucker come to my house trying to tell me that my mother came and did anything. I'd be like, well, you must not want to get paid because this is my house and I'm the one who's paying you. So since you want to do what she wants you to do, get the fuck out and don't think I'm paying you because I didn't tell you to do that. You took an order from some miscellaneous straight person who wandered in here and told you something and you did what they wanted instead of the one you got the contract with. So don't expect me to give you a dime because that ain't in our contract. Now, I don't see that person's name on here. So what was you doing? Listen to anything they had to say. See, that's how you do motherfuckers like that. And they realize they're not going to get no money. And they will quickly become deaf when your mama and her partner walks in there. They're like, I don't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing you talking about. And I can't talk either. Now, as far as your mother and this man go, yeah, that's the problem because they're decorating the house the way that they would want it to look if they had bought it since they like it so much. And you need to point that out to them like, look, I know that's what you're trying to do, but I'm telling you that shit ain't going to fly. This is my house and you're going to keep it up and you're not even going to be invited over here. And it's like, it's nice that you did all this and you gave me all that money and stuff, but let me get a loan so I can give you your fucking money back and you can stay out of my business. Let mama do that. Because I want you to be at your house and I want you to stay out of my business. I want you to just be like the ghost while we do what we're going to do. And then when we're finished, we might invite you over. But the way y'all like, you're going to keep doing this until you're going to tear your drawers. And then even that's going to be impossible. So you decide if you're going to do it voluntarily or I'm going to force you to do it. So which one do you want? You're going to back up, go to your house and stay there until I invite you over here. And then she would be like, oh, you're being mean. You're this, you're that. I don't give a fuck. The bottom line is my house. Ain't nobody paying this bitch mortgage but me. Okay, so you don't have no voice here. You don't have no right. You don't have no vote. You don't have shit. You're going to come in the door like a guest like everybody else. That don't work for you, then keep your happy ass at home. I don't really care. Either way, I'm going to have a good time in my house that's decorated the way I want it because it's mine. And I would rub that shit in. But, that's how you got to talk when you got pushy folks like that. You sitting up to say, oh, we don't want to fall out with them. You're going to have to fall out with them because you got two pushy control freaks. They're not trying to listen to reason. You're going to have to come hard. I mean, like hardcore, like hood rat style. Just like I said. So you going to voluntarily do it or I'm going to force you. Either way, you're going to have your happy ass the fuck up out of here. And you're not going to be involved in my business. And the main thing, like I said, is when you talking to your contractors, and your subcontractors and stuff, money talks, bullshit walks. They have the contractors with you. And that's all they need to know. And that's you give them their script to say if she did come around nosing around. And, tell them if she try to come up on the property to call you. And then you handle it. But really, if you do this right, she'll be back at her house and she'll be too insulted to come to your house because she'll feel so unwanted and that you're so ungrateful. That's how you want her to feel. And you want her to feel anything that's going to keep her ass at her house. And the same with him. So, they're going to be upset because they're not getting their way. You don't control that. And you want them to accept something. They're not going to accept it until you force them to. You trying to be all nice and all of that stuff. That's not work. You already tried that, right? Did that work? Did that get you what you wanted? Try it my way. You'll come out on top. You'll be all right. Girl, I'm trying to tell you, these folks, ooh, just being all nice to these people, but everybody in my family knows I'm an asshole, so they wouldn't know better. It's like go to my house, tell nobody I'm paying nothing. You don't do that because that will get you cussed out. Your mama will be cussed out. Your husband will be cussed out. Everybody will be cussed out, and then you'll be banned from my house for life. So that wouldn't be the move you would want to make. But anyway, oh my God. My God. Okay, I'm doing interviews. I've been really distracted and haven't been doing a DNN because of just first the coronavirus thing, and now I'm doing all these interviews for the new series. I keep saying I'm gonna try to get these slides done, but I just haven't had any luck doing them. So I don't know if I do some. It's gonna be a short DNN. But I just have so many interviews scheduled with so many ladies want to come and share their stories with you. So my time has been tied up with that, you guys. And then when I don't do the interviews, I have to edit them, and put them up and do the whole thing there. So I've been really busy with that, and I will be doing those interviews through scheduling those through the month of May. So it's not too late if you want to participate. Send me an email to debsterism@gmail.com. Tell me your name, a little bit about your situation, why you think it would be helpful to the women here to hear it, and what you hope to teach them from your experience. And just email that, and we'll review it. If we feel like it's a good story that would make a, interesting interview, then we will send you information for scheduling, getting yourself on the calendar for an interview. Okay. But you guys, thank you so much for coming tonight and supporting the crazy show. I appreciate you guys always showing up. There's like real loyal team. We missed the new, got some new people in here's names I haven't seen before. We've had a lot of new people on the channel because of the new series, the Narc series. And it's just all good. Channel's growing slowly but surely. You guys be sure to share a link if you can. If you're new here and you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button on your way out and hit the like button as well and like the video. Everybody, good night. Go out and enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you hopefully on Friday night with the DNN. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye bye. Thanks, Lady Boss. I almost forgot you. Thank you. I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.